Hey, GM. Good morning, everyone. Get this slideshow stopped. Are you there, Zach?
Hello. Yes, I am.
I hear you.
Can you see
And
me?
now we see you. Yeah. Good morning,
Hey.
everyone. Welcome to the conclusion of the first ever Huffathon. It's been a real fun time. We've had a lot of challenges. We've had some speaker sessions that were really amazing. And of course, we just concluded the hackathon with some absolutely brilliant entries. Those are still being judged, so we will announce the winners of the hackathon soon. The CTF and challenge winners were announced on the slideshow. Maybe we'll display that again after we speak. But now we're really excited to have with us the mystery speaker, the inventor of Huff itself. And yeah, we're just so excited to have Zach here. How you doing, Zach?
Hey. I am doing very well. Thanks for having me around. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, I will hand it off to you to yeah, make some closing remarks, and yeah, it's all the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are all gathered here today to witness the closing of the first Huffathon, the first Huff Hackathon. Wow, what an insane turn of events. We are truly living in a strange timeline uh, where a language like Huff to have a hackathon. It's an amazing work, and all down to the real brains behind Huff. I created the language, but I've really not really had much of an involvement in it um, for several years. So this is all down to the efforts of um, uh, Tuligan, Merkelplant, and Jay Trilly to make this all happen. So yeah, thank you very much. I've heard some wonderful things about the hackathon, some crazy submissions, um, uh, including things like fast Fourier transforms, which are in great. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the the origins of Huff. How did this language come to exist? What's the point? What's the purpose? I feel like this may be a common experience. Certainly, when I write in Huff, I certainly getting this sinking feeling of surely there's more to life than than this insane language. But I can assure you that no, there is only Huff. Everything else is a false idol. Um, so what is Huff? Huff is effectively heresy in computer science form. It's a heretical language. If you think about traditional contract programming and the languages that have grown up to support it, these languages are supposed to be structured around safety, around having clear semantics, around creating abstraction layers that prevent the developer from falling into the many dark patterns that can lead to critical vulnerabilities. And takes a look at all of that and goes, no, no, we don't want that because that's expensive, and we live in a domain where complexity is literally money. Contract programming is a very interesting new paradigm where about things like power consumption and compute time. Every single CPU cycle of the Ethereum virtual machine is going to cost users money, and therefore there are cases where it is worth optimizing everything to the absolute maximum, and that's where Half fills a niche. It provides something provides a fix that's hard to get anywhere else. Uh, why did I create Half? What happened? Well, let's go back to yeah, many years ago, before Web3, before Ethereum, before all of. I was a PhD student, and I was doing a particle physics PhD, and I believe in the summer of 2013, I was on a summer school to study quantum field theory. Well, quantum field theory, it's a psychological horror masquerading as particle physics. It's very hard. can't say I really learned very much over that summer course, but I did have an event where it had been a very long week. A long week, my brain cells thoroughly destroyed by quantum field theory lectures, and so I went to a pub with some of my friends to finish the job, and we got playing some games. We got playing some board games, and they had a chess set and they had a draft set, but neither had enough pieces to actually complete a board. So, we improvised, and we started playing a game where one of the sides was chess, one of the sides was drafts. I can't remember how it started. It ended up being called Huff, I think, because everyone was making a huffing-like sound, like something like that. Anyway, it's a futile game. It's pointless. The drafts player can't win. Literally, they can't. They just can't win. Even if the chess player tries to help them, they can't win. It's not possible to perform enough legal moves to take all the chess pieces. So I felt it was an appropriate name for the programming language because of its the time what I thought was its extreme futility and inability to produce anything useful with. I created it because I wanted to form elliptic curve arithmetic inside a smart contract. So go back to 2018, way before ZK Snarks had really taken off. My company was building a cryptography protocol where you could perform shielded transactions, but it needed to do a lot of elliptic curve cryptography directly in an Ethereum smart contract. It cost us over $1 million gas, which in today's prices is eye-watering. Back then, the Ethereum precompilers to perform elliptic curve operations were extremely expensive. It cost 40,000 gas to perform elliptic curve scalar multiplication, and this was annoying me. There was a proposal in EIP to make it reduced in cost, but it had been stalled, and I believe the parity client was the reason. Basically, their implementation of elliptic wasn't very fast. Cryptography experience in-house to make it any faster, and so kind of to frustration, I was thinking, my God, I could probably make something that's more efficient directly in a smart contract. But for that, I would have needed to write direct assembly, and some kind of tooling around, being able to assemble multiple assembly macros together and being able to parameterize assembly macros so that you could insert different keywords and multiple instantiations, do things like compute offsets at compile time. Effectively, what I wanted was a DSL for EVM assembly, and that's how Huff got started. It was a little internal project to satisfy basically a small hobby. Really even need to do it. As in, we ended up getting that ERP passed because me and some other people just made the parity implementation faster. We didn't need to make it. We didn't need to prove anything in smart contracts, but it was fun. And yes, that's how I've started. I didn't care about code quality. I didn't care about correctness. I didn't care about security because it was a hobby project. It was almost a release of tension for me because at the time we were building what became ASIC 1.0, and it was a cryptography protocol deployed on chain. So lots of attention needed to go into security, making sure everything was correct, being very careful, and Huff was basically my outlet to write literal garbage and not have to worry about its security or its readability, because at the time I was like, no one else is going to use this except me, because no one else is insane enough to program this kind of low-level macro type assembly. I mean, Huff doesn't have variables. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't have semantics. It doesn't have all the things you'd expect from a normal programming language. What kind of insane lunatic would actually program in Huff? Little did I know. Yeah, the compiler was trash. Literally, the parser was it didn't have a proper parser. It used regex, regular expressions, to hunt for keywords and to hunt for code blocks and do scoping. It was absolute trash. But it got the job done. It enabled me to write this weird elliptic curve contract called ViaStrudel, and I managed to make it, in some contexts, I managed to make it faster than the precompile. In that is then it used less gas. So I proved a point that didn't need to be proved, just because, which I feel like many developers, many people in this room, they may relate to that that somewhat capricious, pointless desire. So that was Huff. I put together ViaStrudel. I deployed ViaStrudel to mainnet. No one used it, thank God. Probably wasn't secure. And then I forgot about Huff. I just abandoned it on GitHub. I was like, hey, it's open source, but whatever. I moved on with my life. I moved on to things like cryptography, onto Plonk. I didn't really have time for Huff. And then I started contacted by some rather strange individuals. I think via Twitter first. I think yes, this chap called Dev Tooligan was like, hey, like to like can I was like, can I use Huff? Can I improve it? And I'm like, God, yeah, please, thank you. Take this, deliver me from this monstrosity I've created. And then effectively, I believe it got picked up by literal children, specifically Jet 13 and Transmissions 11. Actual legal children started, like they were the people along with Dev Tooligan that were leading the charge developing Huff. Um, it's this very strange community and a very strange subculture where you can't. Not many industries have a problem with retroactive public goods funding because you may be paying hard labor if you do it, but we do. So yeah, but they basically they took Huff and turned it into a proper language, with a proper compiler instead of some regex nonsense. Turned the TypeScript compiler into Rust. Actually made it nice and presentable, and community basically from scratch. It's incredible. It's incredible achievement what they did, and lots of other people too. There's Merkelplot, there's Jay Trilly, there's Dillon, there's Madia, who we might have poached for Aztec. And please shout out if I'm because it was an amazing crowd of people that turned this into a proper community. Now we have hackathons. Now we have Huff style guides, which is and Huff, programming standards and best practices. And if you had told me 5 years ago this all happened, I would be like alien, and they're fucking around with humanity and just doing stupid things to see just until we twig, because this is mad. The fact that this exists at all is mad, and it's wonderful. And we're starting to even see, I believe, some Huff code starting to wind its way into production settings, which is a brave new world we're living in, for sure. And yes, and Vex, and Exp and Virtual. I'm very sorry for missing you folks out originally. It's yeah, it's a real niche community, and it's one I'm immensely proud to be a part of. So everybody for participating in this hackathon. Thank you for everyone who's submitted entries. I've been looking at some of the submissions, and they are absolutely wild. I would apologize for any brain damage that people have suffered during the process of this hackathon, but quite frankly, that was kind of the point of, it's it's not a nice language. It doesn't pretend to be a nice language. So I feel like what you're getting into with Huff. Doesn't hold your hand. Anyway, that's all. That's a backstory for Huff. It's basically, it's a psychological horror masquerading as a programming language, and um, and yeah, thank you for everyone who's participated.
That was so awesome, Zach. Thank you so much for joining us, for speaking, for sharing with us. And yeah, I think we named all the main contributors. Um, yeah, a lot of people involved in that. So that concludes the first Huffathon. I don't know if there's anybody else who would like to speak. You can raise your hand. I'm gonna pull up the winners of the challenges real quick so we could just display them. But please raise your hand if you would like to jump on stage and say anything while I find this slide. Okay. All right. So the winners. Uh, Stack It First Blood went to Benoit S. Then the lowest gas went to Zach 76. Memory Enjoyer First Blood went to Benoit S again. He's quick. And then Antipara came in with the lowest gas. They also went on to win both of Mina Mao's Optimizer War challenges. Um, and then Zach 76 back again to take the Lost Temple of Ethereum. So thank you to all the puzzles and all the creators. I got another slide with some more thank yous. Thank you to the hackathoners. Thank you to Jay Trilly for running the hackathon. Thank you to all the Huffers that came and helped out and answered questions in the Discord. Just an amazing show of community. Thank you, Minamao, for creating the challenge. Thank you, Pranesh, for creating a challenge and for helping to run all of the challenges and the CTFs. Thank you, Clement, for creating the landing page, and thank you, Madia, who is taking the lead for getting the swag. And so hopefully we'll see something in the future, maybe some Huffathon t-shirts. That would be awesome. And I think that might be all the thank yous I have. So yeah, um, let me just make sure nobody's raising their hand. Okay. Well, this I think concludes the Huffathon. Thank you again, Zach. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime. See you guys.
Awesome. See you folks around. Take care.